Hello everyone, I'm Fidel Johnson. Before I begin, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why is everything going wrong? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to work? Have you ever smiled in front of people while secretly worrying about your future? If your answer is yes, then today's message is especially for you. Because today, we're not just talking about positive thinking, we're talking about a way of living, a way of seeing life, a way of overcoming difficulties, a way of becoming stronger than your circumstances. So, wherever you are watching this video from, I encourage you to stay with me until the very end because one positive thought can change an entire life. There's a beautiful quote that says, your life today is the result of the thoughts you believed yesterday. Your future will be shaped by the thoughts you choose today. Think about that. Everything begins with a thought. Every invention, every business, every relationship, every success, every dream started as a single thought. If thoughts can create success, negative thoughts can also create failure. That is why protecting your mind is one of the most important responsibilities you have. Many people think positive thinking means pretending life is perfect. No, positive thinking does not mean you never cry. It does not mean you never fail. It does not mean you never feel discouraged. Positive thinking simply means you refuse to let temporary problems become permanent beliefs. It means believing that this difficult chapter is not the final chapter. It means believing that tomorrow can be better than today. Imagine two people walking through the same storm. The rain is the same, the wind is the same, the darkness is the same. But one person keeps saying, I'll never make it. This is the end. I cannot continue. The other person says, this storm cannot last forever. I will learn from this. I'll become stronger because of this. Both experience the same storm, but they arrive at different destinations. Why? Because your attitude determines your direction. There's another quote I absolutely love. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. Let that sink in. Many people pray for a better life while feeding their minds with fear every single day. They expect success but think failure. They expect peace but think worry. They expect happiness but think negativity. Your mind cannot produce what you never plant. Think of your mind as a garden. Every single day, seeds are being planted. The books you read, the people you spend time with, the videos you watch, the conversations you have, the music you listen to, the words you speak to yourself, every one of them is planting something inside your mind. And eventually, whatever you plant will grow. If you plant fear, fear grows. If you plant jealousy, jealousy grows. If you plant gratitude, peace grows. If you plant hope, confidence grows. The question is, what are you feeding your mind every day? One day, an old man was sitting under a tree with his grandson. The little boy asked, Grandfather, why do I sometimes feel like there's a battle inside me? The grandfather smiled and replied, because inside every human being there are two wolves fighting. One wolf represents fear, anger, jealousy, negativity, bitterness. The other wolf represents hope, kindness, faith, love, peace, and gratitude. The little boy thought for a moment and then asked, Grandfather, which wolf wins? The old man smiled again and said, the one you feed. That story contains one of the greatest life lessons. Every day you're feeding something. The question is, what are you feeding? Many people wake up every morning and immediately begin feeding negativity. I can't, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'll never succeed, I'll always fail. Imagine hearing those words every single day. Eventually your mind begins believing in them because your mind listens to you more than anyone else. That is why you must become careful about the conversation you have with yourself. There's another powerful quote. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Think about that. Many people encourage everyone else but constantly criticize themselves. They forgive everyone else but never forgive themselves. They believe in everyone else but never believe in themselves. How can you expect confidence to grow if your own thoughts keep destroying it? Many people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment to become happy. I'll be happy when I get a better job. I'll be happy when I earn money. I'll be happy when I buy my dream house. I'll be happy when everyone appreciates me. But happiness doesn't begin with circumstances, it begins with your mindset. There's another beautiful quote that says, happiness is not having everything, it is appreciating everything you already have. How many blessings do we overlook every single day? The ability to wake up, the ability to walk, to see, to hear, to breathe. Many people pray for the things we take for granted. That is why gratitude is one of the greatest expressions of positive thinking. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who complained every day about his old shoes. Every morning he looked at them and wished he had a new pair. One day, while walking through the city, he saw a man sitting on the roadside. The man had no legs. At that very moment, his complaint disappeared. He realized something powerful. Sometimes we complain because we compare ourselves with people who have more. Instead, we should compare ourselves with where we once were and appreciate how far we have come. There is a quote that says, gratitude turns what we have into enough. Life is not fair. Every one of us experiences pain. Some lose loved ones, some lose jobs, some face illness, some experience betrayal, some struggle financially. Some silently fight anxiety and depression. Positive thinking does not deny these realities. Instead, it gives us the courage to face them without losing hope. There's another beautiful quote. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. That is what positive thinking does. It teaches us to adjust instead of giving up. Many years ago, a small eagle's egg accidentally fell into a chicken's farm. The egg hatched among chickens. The little eagle grew up believing it was a chicken. It scratched the ground. It never tried to fly. It watched the sky every day and admired the eagles flying high above. One day it asked an old chicken, "What are those beautiful birds?" The chicken replied, "They are eagles. They are born to fly. We are only chickens." The eagle believed the lie. It lived and died without discovering who it really was. Many people are living exactly like that eagle. They have enormous potential, but they believe the negative voices around them. You will never succeed. You are not smart enough. You will always fail. And because they believe those lies, they never discover what they are capable of becoming. There is a quote that says, "Don't let someone else's opinion become your reality." How many dreams have died because of people listened to criticism instead of believing themselves? How many businesses were never started? How many books were never written? How many songs were never sung? How many inventions were never created? Simply because someone believed the wrong voice. The most powerful voice in your life is not your parents', not your friends', not your teachers. It's your own inner voice. What are you saying to yourself every day when you fail? Do you say I'm a failure, or do you say I learned something valuable? When life becomes difficult, do you say I can't, or do you say I'll find a way? Your words shape your thinking, and your thinking shapes your future. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed, I just found 10,000 more ways that won't work." Imagine if he had stopped after his first failure. Imagine if he had believed that people who laughed at him. Imagine if he had allowed negative thinking to control his life. The world would have been different. Success belongs to people who refuse to give up. There's another inspiring quote. Your greatest limitation is often the one you place on yourself. Many people are not defeated by circumstances. They are defeated by their own thoughts. Fear tells them, don't try. Doubt tells them, you'll fail. Past mistakes tell them, you'll never change. But faith whispers, take one more step. Sometimes one more step is all it takes to change your life. Think about a baby learning to walk. Does the baby fall? Yes, once, no, twice, no, hundreds of times. But the baby never says, walking isn't for me. Imagine if babies thought like adults. None of us would ever learn to walk. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. Every successful person has failed. The difference is they didn't stay on the ground. There's another beautiful quote. Fall 7 times, stand up on the 8th. That is positive thinking. Not pretending you never fell, but refusing to stay there. Look at nature. The sun sets every evening and it rises again every morning. Trees lose their leaves, yet they bloom again. After every storm comes a rainbow. Nature itself teaches us hope. If nature refuses to give up, why should we? Never allow one bad day to convince you that you have a bad life. Never allow one failure to convince you that you are a failure. Never allow one rejection to convince that you are worthless, because your value is not determined by one moment. Your future has begun than your current situation. Many people are waiting for life to become easier before they become positive. But life doesn't always become easier. Sometimes you become stronger. There is a quote that says, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Think about those words. You cannot control everything that happens in your life. You cannot stop people from criticizing you. You cannot prevent disappointments. You cannot stop unexpected challenges, but you can always choose your response. That choice determines your future. One day, a man walked into a room carrying two glasses. One glass was filled with clean water, the other contained muddy water. He asked everyone, which one would you drink? Everyone pointed to the clean water. He smiled and said, your mind is exactly the same. If you keep filling it with fear, jealousy, anger, complaints, negativity, your life will begin to reflect what you have been feeding your mind. But if you fill your mind with hope, faith, love, kindness, encouragement, your life begins to change from the inside out. There's another beautiful quote. Your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. That is why affirmations matter. Every morning when you wake up, speak life into yourself. Say, I'm capable, I'm growing, I'll overcome, I'll not give up. I believe God has a purpose for my life. At first, it may feel strange, but slowly your mind begins to believe what your heart repeatedly hears. One of the greatest enemies of positive thinking is comparison. Today, social media has made comparison easier than ever before. We compare our beginning to someone else's success. We compare our struggles to someone else's highlights. We compare our ordinary days to someone else's best moments. But remember this, you are comparing your real life to someone's edited life. There is a quote, comparison is the thief of joy. When you constantly compare yourself with others, you stop appreciating your own journey. Every person has a different story. Every person has a different purpose. Every person has a different timeline. Just because someone succeeds before you doesn't mean you have failed. Your season is coming. Keep preparing, keep believing, keep moving forward. Thank you. Bye.